What do I do with this? Star Wars The Last Jedi stars Daisy Ridley, John Boyega, Carrie Fisher, Adam Driver, Oscar Isaac, Andy Serkis, and a whole bunch of other people as they go on another adventure in space. Fun fact, Adam Driver actually went to my high school. You may think that's nothing. My town's kind of small, so that's basically their only claim to fame, is the bad guy from Star Wars grew up there and went to my high school and took all my same classes. I try not to spoil too much about Star Wars, especially because it is Star Wars. So what I will say about the plot is basically this. It is a cat and mouse theme that explores a deeper meaning between the super extremes of light and dark, good and evil. Who's the cat and who's the mouse? I will not say, and I also can't tell you what that deeper meaning really means. Go see it for yourself if you really want to know. This review is more about how well they did the things they did and everything like that. Let's start with the people category, starting off with acting. I think the acting's really well done for the most part. I can't really complain about anything because there are so many characters in the movie. Each one of them have the chance to show a good range of acting ability, and I think they all do a pretty good job here. 2 out of 2 possible stars. As with characters, as always, were great. The only things I didn't really care for were probably those gerbil-looking things. Ewoks all over again. But other than that, there's just way too many characters to ignore here. Lots of great things going on. I will say 2 out of 2 possible stars for that. Casting. How can you say it's bad casting when you have Mark Hamill as Luke Skywalker, Carrie Fisher, Leia, and everything like that? How can you say it's bad casting? Especially, it's a sequel. And you brought back all the same characters by the same cast, and that's really all you can ask for. Casting gets 2 out of 2 possible stars. Does everybody in this movie play an important role to adding to the plot? Yes, everybody does play their roles in this film very well. 2 out of 2 possible stars for that. How about the chemistry between everybody? I really like the chemistry this time. They were able to right the wrong they made in The Force Awakens by having her not hug Chewie. There is a moment in this film where she does, and I appreciate that. The chemistry between Rey and Kylo is so much more intriguing in this movie. Her chemistry with Luke is mysterious and hard to ignore. His chemistry between himself and Kylo, himself and Leia, everybody seems to have their own unique chemistry with one another. 2 out of 2 possible stars. Writing. Dialogue, I don't really think there was any lines in there that I'm going to remember overall. There was some zingers. There were definitely some zingers. When it comes down to remembering Star Wars for the things people say, I don't think this is going to be among the movies that has the best lines. They have some weird humor going on between some characters. There's nothing that really popped out with me with dialogue. I don't even think I heard them say I have a bad feeling about this. It might still be there, I just didn't hear it. 1 out of 2 possible stars. How balanced was it? I don't think it was super balanced. I think because they had so many different side stories going on all at once, it starts to feel a little bit longer than it is, a little convoluted, especially with John Boyega's story with Rose. They have an interesting dynamic with each other, which is fine. But when you really get down to the nitty gritty, you got Leia and Poe, Rey and Luke, Rey and Kylo, Finn and Rose, and those are the main ones. And they're all happening all at once. It doesn't feel as much as one story as it probably could have felt, but it all comes down to the cat and mouse. 1 out of 2 possible stars. How about the story itself? The story is really good. For the first time since Rogue One, I have felt an original story from Star Wars that didn't feel like it was copying off of another movie. All the prequels felt like it was copying off of the original trilogy. The Force Awakens felt a lot like it was copying off of A New Hope in a lot of ways. Rogue One felt like a completely original story, and so did this, and so I'm happy about that. That's one thing that I really enjoyed about this, but it also had to do with taking a different perspective on something that we've looked at as a two-sided story our entire lives with Star Wars. Good and evil, light and dark. Some things aren't that simple, and this movie really dives down into that idea. 2 out of 2 possible stars. Originality, like I said, it is original. 2 out of 2 possible stars. Interesting, come on, it's a Star Wars movie. You were interested in seeing it. You had to see it the day it opened because it's Star Wars. 2 out of 2 possible stars there. BTS. Visuals, thanks to Rian Johnson, it is a very beautiful film just in regards to both cinematography, in regards to visual effects, in regards to a lot of different things that are going on in the movie. It looks great. 2 out of 2 possible stars. Directing, Rian Johnson, 2 out of 2 possible stars. Editing, we had a little bit more action towards the end that were all stitched together really well, but also all throughout the movie. Lots of good looking scenes specifically because of editing. 2 out of 2 possible stars there. It was as advertised. 2 out of 2 possible stars. How was the music? It's a Star Wars movie. When isn't the music incredible? Right from the get-go with the Star Wars logo smacking you in the face in the beginning, you are down with the music and you want to hear more of this incredible score. 2 out of 2 possible stars. Narrative arc. With the introduction, I kind of have to only give it half points because most of the introduction has to do with the opening scroll of Star Wars. It tells you everything you need to know to be in the mood to watch the movie and see what happens next. It is an intro, but because I find that to be typical, I say 1 out of 2 possible stars. The inciting incident isn't super clear because everything is just jam-packed with action and adventure and boom, 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 that it's kind of hard to notice a specific spot where things change. I didn't see. The inciting incident, the crossing of the threshold I did, and that was mostly when Luke decided to teach Rey the ways of the Jedi. So as far as that goes, 1 out of 2 possible stars. The obstacles, it's a Star Wars movie. There's definitely lots of obstacles for every single character. 2 out of 2 possible stars. The climax, good culmination of everything else. Trust me, it is definitely good. 2 out of 2 possible stars. Following action, does everything calm down and return to a new norm? I think for the most part, this was definitely a yes. It was always building up to that moment where it'd be a new norm. So 2 out of 2 possible stars there. How entertaining it is. Rewatchability? Duh. 2 out of 2 possible stars. Was it a fun experience to watch a movie? 2 out of 2 possible stars. Do I have an impulse to buy it? I have an impulse to buy every Star Wars movie. Even the prequels. 2 out of 2 possible stars. Do I have an impulse to talk about it other than this review? As far as that goes, I'd say 1 out of 2 possible stars. Does it suck the audience in? Yeah. 2 out of 2 possible stars. Specialty. Okay, so as a Star Wars movie, does it feel like it belongs in the universe? Yes, it does. It feels like a Star Wars movie from beginning to end. Certain things that you're accustomed to seeing with the original trilogy might be a little bit different this time around because however many years has passed already, things have changed, things have evolved, things have moved past how they were. But in general, it does feel like Star Wars. 10 out of 10 possible stars. As a sequel to The Force Awakens, does it add anything new? Definitely. Between the two, I don't know which one people will like more because they're both great movies, but it did add some elements here that I think people will enjoy. 10 out of 10 possible stars. How about the twins? You know Luke's going to be in there and Leia's going to be in there. How do they portray the roles in this one based off of the originals? It's different. The way that you see the characters in the original trilogy is different than you see them now, but a lot of time has passed. I think for both of their characters, I think it did them justice from beginning to end. It was weird in some spots. Overall, I think people will enjoy what they did for those parts. 10 out of 10 possible stars there. One of the first things I heard about this movie was that it was going to have a Darth Vader, Luke, I am your father scenario. Some people had their own theories as to what that was going to be, but I believe it was the writers or the producers or somebody that said there will be a moment in this that will equate to that moment in history. I didn't sense that. There were surprising moments in the movie, absolutely, but nothing in there that changes the course of film history in regards to twists and turns. While there's twists and turns in the movie, like there probably should be, there's never a twist. that you will remember decades from now. And the I Am Your Father thing is revered as one of the most iconic twists in film history, and I did not sense that. But because there were some twists and turns that were typical, I will give it 5 out of 10 possible stars. Was it halfway decent? Of course it was. They made the movie the way they wanted to make it, and I praise them for that. 10 out of 10 possible stars. If we add all that together, we get 90 out of 100 possible stars. 90%, otherwise known as 9 out of 10 stars. Guys, tell me what you thought about Star Wars The Last Jedi in the comments below. And as always, follow me on Track TV and Twitter at username IAMDWG. IAMDWG. And for YouTube, subscribe to me, hit that like button, and hit that bell to be notified when I come out with my next review, which will be The Killing of a Sacred Deer. That should be out tomorrow. So until then, guys, peace out and have a good rest of the day for you. Peace out.